Yeah, this is video number 5, hangout number 1. It's all you, Sharon. That's a fantastic question, and I would say no. That was kind of the pretense that I went in with the digital writer. And I would call it an abject failure with a couple of qualifications. First of all, I never expected it to do as well as fiction. I expected it to do something. But I think nonfiction has a few things going against it. I think that nonfiction information is so readily available for free that it demeans it. And let's face it, there's not one word in any one of the digital writer books, either already out or in my bank ready to be released, that is secret. Like, it's all pretty much do this, do that, get this result. Yet you could get that same information online. All you have to do is search. Now, I'm a big believer. I will never waste a day searching when I can buy an answer for $3 or $10 even. My time is too important to me. And I have to believe that there are other people out there whose time is more important to them too. And I'm always going to be more attracted to those writers anyway, because I do think that putting your money where your mouth is important. And I've never ever been afraid to spend money to carve myself the kind of career that I want. And, you know, I've had a couple reviews on the digital writer series that are kind of horrifying to me. Like, there was this one-star review on 101 creative ideas. And it's like, there's not one of these 101 creative ideas that can't be found for free on the internet. Well, yeah. Well, here they're all together, and there's you know, and they're well articulated, and they give you a benefit from each one, and it's edited and researched and, you know, professionally packaged. And I'm sorry you don't think that's worth $3. Like, I'm so sorry, because your time must be worth 40 cents an hour to spend the same amount of time gathering it all for yourself. Like, I don't get that mentality, and I never will. And sometimes I forget that it exists, and the altruistic or optimistic part of me gets in and does something like the digital writer, which again, the digital writer was only supposed to break even and give me an outlet to help writers. Now I'm changing the game. And in fact, I'm strongly considering taking all the books that we already have and not publishing them in any kind of serialization, but just putting them out tomorrow. You know, like, not tomorrow, but within the next week, month, putting them all out, and then just putting a new one out whenever I feel like it. And instead of changing it from the ebook model, really just do more of these hangouts, which are like, even this is just the first one, and I'm already feeling super comfortable. So, like, I am a verbal person. I would like to do this. I think it's a better use of my time because I'm not that inspired when I write nonfiction. I feel like I'm doing a job, and it's a job that I feel comfortable doing. And like, I feel like at this point, it's something that has value to people, and I want to do that. But I want to save my real writing for fiction, just because that's when I write faster and more passionately. It's not that I don't care about the nonfiction, but I'm not as passionate about it. Where when I'm talking, like, I don't tell a story this passionately. Like, storytelling is sitting down and framing what I'm saying. But nonfiction to me is easy verbal, and fiction is easy written. And so I like dividing myself better that way. Having said all that, I think if it was your only, like, if that was what you did, if you were marketing nonfiction and not trying to do both, you could make it lucrative, but you really need to be careful to build your proper tribe, trim your tribe, make sure the right people are listening to you, and don't devalue your information. And one of the mistakes that I made with the digital writer was serializing it so that it came out every week, and therefore was saying, look, if you didn't catch up with last week's, this new week's is here already, and that's very watered down. It was basically saying it's disposable, and that's the wrong message to send. So and you can send me a follow-up email on this. I definitely made a lot of mistakes doing serialization with nonfiction, and I'd say it's really the biggest misstep I've had this year. So don't make the same one, and don't be shy. I'll help. Okay. Did that cover it nicely? Or yeah. Okay. Then I'm going to go to the next question, which is, while I know I am to write every day, I lack the time management habits. I'm going to review your link on writing habits, but this is an issue for me. I left my job in workforce development, took nearly a $30,000 salary cut in order to pursue my passion and dream to write, but I don't feel I'm following up throughout my part. Yeah, dude, it's work. Like, that's it. It's work. You cannot will the words to come. You just have to make them. And again, it's permission to suck. Go back the next day and make those words better. But you gotta, you gotta show up. I feel you on taking the pay cut. I closed down a successful preschool to write. And then, right when I started making really good money writing, I turned all my clients down because, I mean, really, like I've kept one client in the last 6 months just because I'm not totally stupid, but really I'm pretty stupid. Yeah. Like Dave and I really went balls to the wall on it and figured, you know what, we have to do it. But if we did that and spent all our time on Facebook and Twitter or not getting our word count done, that would be a real problem. And, Dave will be the first to admit sometimes he hates my ass because I'm like, dude, come on, where's the draft? But, if it wasn't for me driving that, there's no way we'd be hitting a book a week. But that's our business model. We can't afford to drop the ball. That's what we tell people we're going to do. We have to do it. So you just have to show up. You're basically spending what, $800 a week. That's what you spent to $700 a week. That's what you're spending to take your cut and be a writer. So if you're spending $700 a week, don't go looking for free information on the internet to become a better writer. Use that time to write, really, because any moment that you spend, what it reminds me so much of is people who love, like they have a messy house and they're subscribed to Real Simple magazine, and like they go online and look for all like the ways 28 ways to organize your life. Never see clutter again. And they're like reading it and they're drooling with happiness. But there's no, yeah. So that's, that's definitely a trap that's really easy to fall into, and you won't. Really, writing is rewriting. It's work. Just get to it. Just do it. I wish there was an easier answer, but a book that I read recently, and I don't read writing books for that same reason, because I think it's you really should be writing. And while I want to help as much as I can with this kind of stuff, honestly, you're better off not listening to me and going and writing something. Like, that is a better use of your time, unless you're really going to absorb and take action on it. And I'm not trying to crap on this at all, because I do think this kind of stuff is important. And I know who reached out to me, and I know who helped mentor me when I was coming up. And that was really, really important. And I can't ever forget that. I can only do what I'm doing now because there were other people who helped me. But don't get lost in it. It's a deep hole. And if you spend all your time looking for the perfect writing formula, which is what I was going to say, there was a writing book. It's called Techniques of the Selling Writer. And one of my co-writers, David Masters, not David Wright, tipped me off to the book. And I love it. Now, having said that, if I'd read this book 4 years ago, I never would have started writing. It's too technical. It's written by a professor. It's the kind of book that makes you feel like you can't do anything right because a professor wrote it. And which is ironic with this particular book, because it's actually a very simple, is what he's saying, is writing is kind of a formula. You follow these beats. But he makes it sound so complicated for something so easy. Professor. But anyway, there's this line in the book that is just beautiful, where he says, true writers aren't looking for the next formula that will show them how to write better. They're just so excited by their next idea, they're already writing it. And I think there's a real truth to that. I really do. And so anyway, just write. Stop looking for an answer. Just write. I'll be back again for video number 6. Bye-bye.